Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. If you do go on to enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be running you through every AFL team's worst stadium losing streak as of July 28th, 2022. This video idea was inspired by the clash that's taking place this Saturday night between my beloved Western Bulldogs and Geelong at GMHBA Stadium. The Western Bulldogs haven't won at Canidia Park since 2003. They've lost their last 10 games at the venue, and that got me curious about other teams. So I've done some research, and in this video I'm going to present to you my findings. Now, before I get into it, I just want to point out that this information is correct as of the 28th of July 2022, and of course this information could change this weekend. And second, I'm only covering AFL stadiums that host AFL football on a regular basis, so I'm not covering stadiums that might have hosted AFL football but no longer host AFL football on a regular basis. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the Adelaide Crows, and just like the Western Bulldogs, their worst stadium losing streak is also at GMHBA Stadium, originally known as Canidia Park, of course. They've lost their last 12 games at the venue. That includes a loss earlier this season. Their last win was in round 10 of 2003 when they defeated Geelong by 17 points. The final score in that match, 11-10-76 to 8-11-59. Canidia Park has also caused problems for the Brisbane Lions over the last couple of decades. They've lost their last 13 at the venue. They lost a game at the venue earlier this season. Their last win also came in 2003. They defeated Geelong by 14 points. The final score 13-14-92 to 12-6-78. Their next worst stadium losing streak is, of course, at the home of footy, the MCG. I think it's well documented now that they've lost their last 10 games at the venue, and that's pretty timely because they play Richmond at the MCG this Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see if the Brisbane Lions can break their losing streak at the MCG this weekend. But their worst stadium losing streak is at Canidia Park. Carlton's worst stadium losing streak is at the Adelaide Oval. So have a listen to this. They've played 5 games for 5 losses. They've never won at the Adelaide Oval. Now, of course, the venue only opened last decade, but it has been open for a while now. And it's pretty timely, this particular bit of information, because Carlton do play at the Adelaide Oval this Saturday night against the Adelaide Crows. So it'll be interesting to see if they can finally, at long last, record their first win at the Adelaide Oval this weekend. Moving on to Collingwood now. They don't really have a big losing streak at any stadium. Their worst stadium losing streak, though, is at the Gabba. They've lost 4 in a row at the Brisbane venue. Their last win came during the COVID year when all the games were played up there in Queensland. In round 17, 2020, they defeated Gold Coast by 22 points, 10-8-68 to 6-10-46. Essendon are another club that don't really have a big losing streak at any stadium, but their worst stadium losing streak at the moment is at the Adelaide Oval, where they've lost 3 in a row. Their last win at the venue was in round 14, 2020, when they defeated Hawthorn by 16 points. The final score in that match was 13-9-87 to 10-11-71. Moving on to the first of the Western Australian clubs, Fremantle. Now, they have a 3-game losing streak at 2 venues. So the first of those at the Gabba, where they haven't won since round 12, 2016, when they defeated Brisbane by 83 points, 23-9-147 to 9-10-64. They've also got a 3-game losing streak at the SCG, although their last non-win was in round 9 of 2013 when they drew to Sydney, 70 apiece. But technically, they've gone 5 games without a win. Their last win came in 2011, round 17. They defeated Sydney by 11 points on that occasion. They haven't played at the SCG for some time, the Dockers, by the way. Their last game at the venue was in 2018. So I think it's about time that Fremantle make the trip to Sydney to play Sydney at the SCG. Geelong don't really have a big losing streak at any stadium. In fact, they're pretty good at most stadiums. Their biggest losing streak is a 2-game losing streak at 2 venues. The first of those at the Gabba, where they haven't won since the preliminary final 2020 when they defeated Brisbane by 40 points. The final score 11-16, 82-6, 6-42. The 2 games that they've lost, the last 2 games they've lost at the Gabba includes the 2020 Grand Final. They've also lost 2 in a row at the SCG. Their last win at that venue came in 2020 when they beat Brisbane 11-7, 73-6, 10-46. Moving on to the Gold Coast Suns now, the first of the 2 newest teams in the AFL. And, the Gold Coast Suns, it's fair to say, they've struggled since their establishment in 2011, although they are having a better year in 2022. They have struggled throughout most of their history to date. So, no surprise to see that they've got huge losing streaks at a few stadiums. Their biggest losing streak is at the Adelaide Oval, where they've played 9 games for 9 losses at the venue. So just like Carlton, they've never won at the Adelaide Oval, but they've also never won at GMHBA Stadium out of 8 games. They've also never won at Giants Stadium out of 6 games, and they've also never won at UTAS Stadium out of 5 games, and they do play at UTAS Stadium next week, I think. They also have a big losing streak at the Gabba as well. The Greater Western Sydney Giants' worst stadium losing streak is a little weird, it's fair to say. So they've lost their last 6 at Manuka Oval in Canberra. Now, Manuka Oval is their home away from home. They play home games at the venue. They've lost their last 6 at the ground. Their last win came in round 7 of 2019 when they defeated St Kilda by 44 points. The final score in that match, 18-6, 114 to 10-70. Speaking of the Giants, Hawthorn's worst stadium losing streak is at Giants Stadium. They've played 7 games at the venue, never won there. Never ever won at Giants Stadium, and they did play there only a few weeks ago in wet and horrible conditions and couldn't quite get the job done. So fair to say Hawthorn have not had the best of luck at Giants Stadium. They hate the venue, according to my information. Moving on to the reigning premiers now, Melbourne, and just like a few teams, they also don't have a huge losing streak at any stadium. Their worst is at Kazali Stadium, where they've played 2 games in their club history and lost both of them. Both those games were played during the COVID year 2020 in rounds 15 and 16. Moving on to last year's Wooden Spooners, North Melbourne, and just like a couple of other teams, they also haven't won at the Adelaide Oval. They've played 9 games for 9 losses, and that includes an elimination final back in 2016 when they lost to the Adelaide Crows. They also hold a 6-game losing streak at the MCG. Their last win at the venue was in 2017 when they defeated Melbourne by 14 points. Port Adelaide's worst stadium losing streak is at Canidia Park. They've lost 8 in a row at the venue, which includes a loss earlier this season. Their last win came in round 21 of 2007 when they defeated Geelong by a narrow 5 points in a high-scoring match. The final score ended up being 16-10, 106 to 15-11, 101. Richmond's worst stadium losing streak is also at, surprise, surprise, Canidia Park. They've lost 5 in a row at the venue. Their last win back in 2006 when they defeated Geelong by 20 points. The final score 17-8, 110 to 12-18, 90. They haven't played at the venue since 2017 though, and it's fair to say they don't really play games at GMHBA Stadium these days, but that losing streak still stands until they go back to Canidia Park and win. St Kilda also have a big losing streak at Canidia Park, although their last win came last century in 1999 in round 10 when they defeated Geelong by 10 points in a high-scoring game, 18-10, 118 to 16-12, 108. I say high-scoring, but that was probably a low-scoring match because there were definitely higher scoring matches than that back in the day. St Kilda play Geelong at GMHBA next week, so timely information that St Kilda also have a 7-game losing streak at the SCG. Their last win at that venue was in 2009. Sydney's worst stadium losing streak is at the Adelaide Oval. They've only lost their last 3 matches at the venue. Their last win was not too long ago in round 1 2020 in front of no crowd where they defeated Adelaide by 3 points. The final score there 11-8-74 to 11-5-71. West Coast's worst stadium losing streak is also at Geelong's home ground, Canidia Park. They've lost their last 8 games at the venue. Their last win in round 11 2006 when they defeated Geelong by 10 points. The score there 16-5, 111 to 15-8, 101. West Coast do play Geelong at GMHBA in the final round of this season. And we finish off with my beloved Western Bulldogs, and I did touch on this earlier, but the Western Bulldogs' worst stadium losing streak is at Canidia Park. They've lost their last 10 games at the venue. Their last win was in round 16 of 2003 when they defeated Geelong by 18 points. The final score 15-9-99 to 11-15-81. That was despite the Western Bulldogs finishing last in that season. Geelong finished in 12th position. Can the Dogs finally break that losing streak this Saturday night? They came so close last year, but it was a Gary Rowan kick after the siren that denied them the win. But can the Dogs break the GMHBA Stadium / Canidia Park drought this Saturday night? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out. And there you go, footy fans. That is every AFL team's worst stadium losing streak. Information correct as of the 28th of July, 2022. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It was a different one, that is for sure, but let me know in the comments below whether you enjoyed this sort of video, and if you did, well, I might do a few more videos like this in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe to stay up to date with all the content that I post on the Bev Show YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye for now, and go the Doggies!